I said, I told you.
Yeah.
I told y'all.
Right.
And I never had another problem with it.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
Yes, it's a great ally.
Yep.
Great ally.
Cindy said it best.
But you know, there's a mom who just wrote a blog about what a nightmare her toddler is at mealtime. She says it's all her fault because she never set times for meals or forced him to eat his vegetables. So he never learned how to act right at the table. He's 37 now.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding. It's a little kid. So, I mean, is this her issue?
It is her issue.
Yes.
I think it's totally her issue. I cannot stand a brat at a table.
Or in a restaurant.
Or at a restaurant. In my family, I took my niece, my grandniece, actually, out for a meal, and before she started having a temper tantrum before we went into a restaurant, and I took her aside. I said, "You cannot go into that restaurant if you continue temper tantrum because it's not just about you. Other people want to enjoy their meal and they're going to feel very sad seeing you cry." And I said, or we could do takeout. She stopped crying like that, and she behaved so well that I allowed her to pay the check. It's something that we do.
My son loves that too.
No, it is. Look at that little J-Lo.
Wait, what did you allow her to do?
I allowed her to pay the check.
Okay.
You know, okay, but wait.
What?
No,
Who pays the checks in your house? I love you.
I love that accent.
policy.
No, it's a great policy.
Oh, wait a minute, I just got it. You know what? Forget you. Oh, my gosh.
We had to hate you because we missed you.
I just want to say something.
Go ahead. Sid.
First of all,
What do you got?
we took our kid to the toddler. It was a study group, and it was about kids learning how to be together. To be together as toddlers. And it was this woman, Pat Shim, Dr. Pat
Did
Shim.
it work?
At Barnard.
At Barnard, yes, at Barnard Toddler. No, but she told me that when he has a tantrum, no, I did everything. When you take the kid out of the situation and bring him outside and then protect him and say, it's okay, have your tantrum, you're gonna feel better afterwards, and then when it's done, you take him back in.
Right.
And so I tried this a couple of times.
Did it work?
Well, one time he smacked me.
That's my fault.
Yeah,
It
it
was-
is. She can
It's
have
my
to wait.
fault.
I'm
Yeah,
just telling
you have
What'd
to.
he do?
Nothing. It's me because we'll be right back with more hot topics. But this we're gonna hear the end of the story when
Oh,
we
no,
come back.
that's...
Yes.
Think these two look so good for their age? Find out why you better keep it to yourself.
Cyndi Lauper. Just before we go on, people were tweeting, yes, I know I have holes in my shirt. This is my favorite shirt of life. You can't ever get it again. It's falling apart. I know. I took the sweater off, forgot the holes were there. Relax. Do you?
It's distress. That's a fashion thing.
I mean, you just can't find it anymore, and I forgot it had holes in it. I'm sorry.
You have to pay extra for the
Well,
holes.
apparently now, see, I had him first. Now, did you ever see a person of a certain age who looks amazing, and you say, oh my God, you're so young looking, or you look so good for your age? Well, a Huffington Post blogger says, you better not do that anymore, because people take it as an insult. They want to hear how they actually look. No, people don't want to hear that from people. Do you think that that's insulting? Or do you think people do they mean it?
I don't mind it. Yesterday, a guy said to me, I was coming out of my therapist's office where I spend a lot of time, and he said, you know, he was telling me he was depressed, weirdly enough, and I said to him, why don't you stop in this woman? And he's like, I got 5 kids. And he goes, you're not old enough to have 5 kids. I said, honey, I'm 52. And he goes, oh my God, you look so good. Yeah, I didn't know you were so old. And I kind of took the positive, half empty, half full. I'm like, thank you, and go see her, 7D. She's very good.
One time I read a tweet from this guy. It was so hilarious. He said, Rosie Perez is old as dirt, but she could still get it.
Bum, bum, bum.
Old as dirt. I laughed so freaking hard. I thought that was so funny. And you know what? It's okay. I will take that compliment.
That's right. That's right.
I feel the same way whenever, you know, and I'm an old mom of a 1.5-year-old, but New York City's the only place you can go where people are like, are you going to have more? I'm like, I'm really old. I was old for this one. So, but I think that what's startling is that young people think that like 60 is old. Like, I think that is so young. I mean, you know,
we all
80
did.
is young.
Because you're
We all
closer
did.
to it. Because
Maybe. But in Europe, I mean, you know, everyone looks incredible their whole life. But they don't have such sort of an age-segregated society in European countries.
But you don't have to listen to them.
I
You
know.
do
That's
whatever
right.
you want.
Yeah.
Listen, when I had my kid, I was 44. I had him at the park, and the parker, she was a nice lady, but she said to my son, "It's not nice you're out with Grammy."
I don't think anyone would ever say that about you.
especially
ever.
after this. I mean, you're in a new animated movie called Henry and Me. I mean, who could say such a thing about you?
Yeah,
Grammy. I'm Grammy. Tell us about the movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Well, it was a movie that my friend Joe Avalon was making, and it's about a kid suffering from cancer, and there's a lot of Yankees in it, and Richard Gere is in it, and Paul Simon, and me. And it's about a kid who goes through the treatment of cancer, and it's tough on kids.
Very beautiful.
Right.
And Cindy was nominated for a voiceover award for her performance in that
Very
film
nice.
as well.
And you know, our audience, you don't really need her to tell you about it because all of you are getting a copy.
And I wanted to tell you that Cindy Lauper has an amazing charity and a great benefit that we do every year. It's called Home for the Holidays. It's this Saturday, December 6th at the Beacon Theater. Myself and Laverne Cox will be hosting an amazing array of performers. 50 Cent, Natalie Maines, Rob Thomas, Patty Griffin, Salt and Pepper, Cindy Lauper herself performing. Natalie Maines, Rob Thomas. All the money goes to the True Colors Fund, and that is to help homeless, gay, and lesbian youth and transgender youth. And you have done so much, Cindy. You're an inspiration. You have done so much for that cause. You have done so much for gay rights. You are part of the gay community, and you are a heroine and a hero.
I'm a friend and family.
I know, baby. I know.
And we will be right back with Hugh Jackman.
Is Hugh Jackman always Jack? We've got a Throwback Thursday surprise you gotta see.
Hugh Jackman is back in action on Broadway, the new play, The River. Please welcome the amazing, fabulous, gorgeous Hugh Jackman.
So good to see you.
It's good to see you. Now,
One-on-one.
This show that you're doing, The River,
Yeah.
I mean, people, I'm sure thought, oh, Hugh's in a new musical. We're going to go see him. Are people shocked or surprised that this isn't a musical? Because this isn't the first time you've done a straight play.
It's not the first time. Some people are. I mean, not as much. When I actually first did a musical, The Boy from Oz, here about 10 years ago, I remember there's one part where I kissed my boyfriend on stage, and I remember very clearly someone yelling out, "Don't do it, Wolverine!" I was like, I could not stop laughing. And for me, I started just doing theatre. Like musicals was a surprise to me. So, you know, now people know me from that or Les Mis. But look, this is a great play. It's a very intimate.
Tell us what the, because it's you,
It's me,
two girls,
two
and
women.
a fish.
Yes, and a fish. Yeah, it's a beautiful play written by Jez Butterworth, who did Jerusalem, which was a big hit here a couple of years ago. I play a man who takes his new girlfriend up to a log cabin, a remote fishing cabin for a night or weekend of fishing and whatever else. And it's sort of a mystery and a love story. The only thing that's really certain by the end of it is that nothing is as it seems. It's a quiet, mysterious, beautiful piece of writing, and I am having the time of my life.
Well, I mean, you're on stage, and I know this because I saw a picture you tweeted out.
Right.
You're gutting a real fish. Now, you know, here in New York, we do have prop houses where you can get a fake fish and just open them up. But you're gutting a real...
We do. And every night. People are so so close to this theatre. This is the most intimate theatre,
Yeah.
Circle in the Square. You're 8 rows back is the furthest you are. So literally, as I'm gutting, I hear, oh, it's a real fish. Oh. And sometimes they're pregnant, so the salmon roe comes out like it is, and you hear them. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of this and. But yeah, I gut it and cook it, prepare it and cook it and eat it on
You're
stage.
preparing it on stage.
Yeah, I now can do scrambled eggs and fish.
Wow. Well, the bleeding must have flipped people out.
The
because,
bleeding did flip people out.
So,
yeah, no.
Explain, because...
I really do gut this fish, and I prepare it. I chop up fennel and leeks, and I cut off the end with a lemon. I cut off the end of my thumb about 4 weeks ago. It's completely healed now, but you know when your knife is... Yeah, and by the way, see my finger, that had happened. I got 5 stitches in that one from something else that happened. This is a very dangerous play. Forget Wolverine. This is
really?
It's a killer.
So you bled through the whole thing?
You know, when the knife is so sharp, it was literally like, I think I cut myself, and I'm looking and going, oh yeah, I cut myself. But I thought, oh, it'll stop. It never. Literally, it was a bloodbath.
Yeah.
At the end of your thumb, by the way, don't cut it. It's a bloodbath. It just never stops. And so the girls coming on and off on stage were surreptitiously handing me like Band-Aids and things and tea towels, and I just spent most of the show literally like that with a bit of cloth at the end of it, and I just kept having to throw it away. And I thought, oh, it stopped. And I'm standing there at one point. And I'm listening to one of the girls, and I turn away and I look down, and there was a puddle of blood. And I kind of out of the corner, I could see all the people in the front row going, he's going to die. He's going to die.
Wow.
Lucky it's only an 85-minute play, so lucky.
So you just bled for 85 minutes.
This is theatre.
I get it. I get it.
Blood, sweat, and tears, baby.
There you go. Now, wait a minute, because it's you. You also have 2 films coming out, very different kind of roles and very different looking kind of roles.
Yeah.
One with a mullet.
Yes.
One is...
I'm bringing the mullet back.
Why?
Why? Yes, this is a film called Chappie, and I'm really excited about this. Neil Blomkamp, who did District 9, who I think is a visionary and amazing, brilliant director. He rang me and he said, I've got this vision of you with a mullet. And I said, I'm in. That was all he needed to say. I never read the script. No, yeah, I did. It's a really great sort of science fiction movie in a way, but it's very human. I wouldn't say I'm a science fiction fan, but this is very human. And my wife came to see it, and she was crying.
It's
like,
Chappie.
Chappie. And I think you'll love it.
Your Hook? Well, you're not called Hook.
No.
Explain, please.
Okay, so I'm in a movie called Pan, which comes out next summer.
Right.
And I play Blackbeard. And I have an incredibly different look, as you can see in this. And it is a beautiful movie made by Joe Wright, great filmmaker. And it's a prequel to Peter Pan as we know it. And there is one line in the original book that said that Hook learnt his trade as the bosun for Blackbeard.
Yes.
So I am literally sort of the villain of this.
That's my favorite book in the world.
It's one of my favorites.
It's the greatest.
Yeah.
And you're one of my favorite people. I love you. So we say thank you. Thank you, Jack Mann. The River will be at Circle in the Square Theater through February 8th, and we will be right back.
Nancy Grace is going behind the police tape with the most shocking news America's talking about right now.
You did not know where his body was for 2 weeks?
Dominating the headlines these days than our next guest, and we have a lot to talk to her about. So please welcome HLN's Nancy Grace. So we started our conversation here today talking about the Eric Gardner case, so I'm dying to hear your take on that.
Well, I'm very concerned because, as we all know by now, the police chokehold, which came to center stage in the Eric Gardner case, was disallowed since Ray Kelly in 1993. You know what? Taser me, pepper spray me, but
or write me a ticket, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't this a fine offense?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Nicole, because this guy was at worst selling untaxed cigarettes one by one cigarette at a time. You get a chokehold for that, and I very, very rarely speak out against police. I was the prosecutor my whole legal career after being a crime victim, but I just don't see. You sell a cigarette without taxing and you get a chokehold, and I had to cut the video off when I heard the man saying, I can't breathe,
Yeah.
I can't
Her
breathe.
too. Yeah.
I could not even hear it anymore.
Right.
And Ferguson, I mean, it feels, I know it's very different, but it feels the same. What's your take on Ferguson?
Well, I tell you what, after speaking to Michael Brown's mother for such a long time, and when she got to talking and was rocking back and forth like that, I could hardly